What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So yesterday President Biden really screwed up, and I want to address what he said and what we could potentially see from this. I'll also be giving you a stimulus update. We're going to talk about Social Security and how some House Democrats, about 90% of them, are trying to get more benefits in for Social Security recipients. We got new U.S. COVID records and some daily news that I want to bring you as well. So first off, thank you guys for watching. Welcome to your stimulus update and daily news report for Tuesday, December 28th. We're getting close to 2022, so hopefully you guys are ending your year right. Now, here's what we know. One of the biggest issues right now has to do with Social Security and the benefits that retirees are getting. Many people have argued that the cost of living adjustment of 5.9%, although it's rather large, much larger than what we saw in 2021, it's not going to be enough. And it isn't. What we are seeing right now is SNAP benefits are being cut. That means you don't get as much food, you don't get as much support. Medicare premiums are going up at a rate that we haven't really seen lately. Rent is increasing, property taxes have gone up, and this doesn't even take into account the fact that food is getting a lot more expensive and gas is getting more expensive all across the nation. Here's what I can tell you. According to many reports, lawmakers have been looking into different ways to improve Social Security and improve the program so that people that are in Social Security can actually, and taking Social Security benefits, can actually provide for themselves. But in order to provide for those on Social Security, there's one thing that has to happen. Congress believes the only way to improve Social Security is by passing legislation and taxing those that are at the top of their income scale. What I can tell you is that this is where the language of the bill means just as much, if not more, than the actual bill itself. Here's the reason why. If we say, and the hard part with everything right now is President Biden came out and he ran on nobody making less than $400,000 per year would have to pay a penny more in taxes. But that one statement, which he's made over and over, that one statement, that is one of the issues with pretty much the entire bill. The Build Back Better Act, or providing more to Social Security, anything. Because if we only are asking for people that make over $400,000 per year to pay more in taxes, guess what? There are some lawmakers that are against that, obviously. So here's what I can tell you. We know Representative John Larson. He's the chairman of the House Social Security Subcommittee. He has actually gotten about 90% of House Democrats on board with the Social Security 2100 Act. And according to many reports, Democrats know that if they want to gain seats in the House and the Senate during the midterm elections in 2022, they will need to support people on Social Security. So here's what we know. Right now, the bills that we are seeing, the ideas that are coming out, the most important thing is how will the language be written? Who is going to pay for a Social Security increase? Who's going to pay for it? Is it going to be lower income families, middle income families, or the rich? We don't know. But if we go off what President Biden is saying, that means that lower income, middle income households will not pay a penny more in taxes. But then if we just tax the rich, guess what? Some senators, some Democratic senators will not go for this, which means it's not going to pass in the Senate. And so that's the issue, is that everybody is trying to go off of what President Biden has promised. But at the same time, other Senate Democrats are saying, no, we don't support this. We cannot just tax a specific group. And that's turning into a major issue. So we'll see what happens there. Here's the other issue that happened yesterday. Many people were slamming President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, they were doing this for multiple reasons. Number one, Biden has made a promise to completely shut down the COVID virus for over the past year. This was his promise. He made this promise before he was president when he was campaigning. And he said that the Trump administration has done a terrible job, or he did back then. Well, President Biden yesterday stated that and I quote, "There is no federal solution to COVID." Okay, let me read that again. There is no federal solution to COVID. This gets solved at the state level. So he is pretty much just pushing off this huge pandemic, pushing off this burden on from him onto the states. But there is a major concern here. And here's one of the concerns that we're having. Many people are wondering, why can't we get more rapid at-home COVID tests? And why can't we get them now? Because the administration has been saying that they're going to mail out these tests in January. But experts say that will be too late. And let me just give you an idea of how late this is going to be. We are anticipating, experts have been saying for a couple of weeks, that we could easily see over 1 million cases per day of COVID. Okay? Here's what we know. We are not supposed to see a peak in COVID cases until possibly the first week or second week of January. Experts are they're anticipating that we will see the highest amount of COVID cases in the first couple weeks of January, simply because of the holidays and New Year's Eve, New Year's parties. Here's what I can tell you. The United States alone reported over 500,000 new COVID cases yesterday in one single day. And here's one of the scariest things. We know that on Mondays, which was yesterday, where we saw 543,415 COVID cases, which now brings our 7-day average to 239,100 COVID cases. Yesterday, on Monday, we actually see underreporting. Mondays are not a big day for reporting. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, much greater. So, when I bring you the report tomorrow, expect this number of 543,000 to be much higher. Some expect maybe a couple 100,000 more, pushing close to 800,000 COVID cases in a single day. And that's today. Now, here's what experts say. Experts say that it could actually be a matter of days, not weeks, days before we top 1 million COVID cases in a single day. But the good news is that the death rate, according to experts, compared to the case counts, is relatively small. Even with over 500,000 new cases, experts say that hopefully the death rate doesn't rise even after the lag. But deaths still sit at about 0.3%, 0.3%. This is roughly 3 times higher than deaths due to the flu here in the United States, which sits a little bit under 0.1%. So, it's because of these rates that many say sending out an at-home COVID testing kit in January would not benefit us now, and this is when we need them. And so here's what some are saying. Why did the Biden administration wait so long to send out these at-home testing kits? We know that they're available, but why did they wait so long? So, on top of all this, health officials are also saying that Americans should completely get rid of their cloth masks. That cloth masks with only 2 layers are not helping. They say cloth masks are not helping to prevent the spread of Omicron, but they did help with Delta. But they say the best solution, and it has been the best solution for almost 2 years now, is a well-fitted N95 respirator. That's the best thing. And not one with a vent. You do not want to get one with a vent, okay? Because even though you are not breathing in the particles outside, the vent is releasing them, which creates an issue because then if you have COVID, you could potentially spread it to other people. So that's what we're hearing there. But if every single person had a well-fitted N95, it would not matter if they had a vent or not. It would still be adequate enough. Now, I've been saying this for the past year. Cloth masks may feel better. They're easier to wear. They're more appealing, right? But they don't provide the protection that one will need for the most serious variants. Here's where things get very interesting. The CDC says that masks only need to have 2 layers of breathable fabric. But experts say we need at least 3 layers or more is what is actually needed. Here's the truth. The CDC and the federal government won't come out and recommend everybody go and get an N95 mask. And they're not going to do this because healthcare professionals could potentially run out. This is exactly what happened when we first came into this pandemic. When the pandemic first started back in March of 2020, was that the Trump administration, and they later revealed this, that the Trump administration was extremely worried that there would be a shortage of masks. And so that's why they didn't recommend it earlier on. But they knew masks were extremely important. But they were just worried about the potential shortage. So we'll see what happens there. But as of right now, some are saying that we just need to completely get rid of our cloth mask. Okay? I don't wear a cloth mask. Okay? I do wear a mask. It's a surgical mask. And some say that's better. But, if I'm around a lot of people, an N95, even an N95 cover, and using a cloth mask to cover it, that's even better. So then you still have the protection of the N95, but at the same time, you do have the appeal of a cloth mask as opposed to the normal N95s or KN95. So that's what we're hearing there. But in other news, lawmakers are now getting calls from many businesses that say they can't get their employees back. And when asked, according to multiple lawmakers, they say it's a very common thing. They say it's because of a lack of childcare. So guess what? According to many reports, there will likely be more provisions in the Build Back Better Act or what we have left of the Build Back Better Act that are going to provide easier access to childcare. These could be things like the child care tax credits of $4,000 per child per year up to 2 children. It could be more child tax credit payments. This is the $250 or $300 per month payment that children are getting under the age of 17. Or who knows what else will be in here? What else will be included? But what we know is lawmakers are looking at multiple different provisions, multiple different ideas to see what would actually work and where they could get some support from all 50 Senate Democrats to finally get this passed. So, here's what I can tell you. President Biden, he messed up yesterday, but it looks like the White House is going to come out and try to fix this. Provide a statement of how or why he said what he said and try to spin the narrative. As far as the stimulus package or the Build Back Better Act, we'll see what happens. But as of right now, there's a lot of stuff that lawmakers are trying to work out just to get the full 50 Senate Democrats on board. But just because we get all 50 Senate Democrats on board doesn't mean we will have enough support in the House to actually pass the bill, because progressives say they will not be bullied once again. We know Social Security is being discussed, which is good news, but the bad news is the U.S. COVID cases are rising so quickly, and I reported this yesterday, that some are expecting lawmakers in Congress to pretty much just push off the Build Back Better Act to focus on the COVID cases and the pandemic. So, as soon as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.